Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. Before we get started in this one, I want to thank Sundial, my Simian level supporter, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. This is, as you can no doubt tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about the Festival Collection. Is it worth your money, essentially? And this is really intended for a specific group of players because whales are already buying boxes or are going to be buying foils, and you know, people who only play one deck rather than a whole nation or multiple nations are probably just going to go ahead and grab those cards because, you know, it's just a little bit. But, you know, people who have a couple nations, is it worth your time and effort and money? And if it is, should you buy singles or should you buy boxes? So I'm going to start off by actually reviewing the cards themselves, the new cards. And you get a playset of each of these per 4 boxes. So you get one guaranteed per box. So let's start off with Rough Eating Dragon, Hungersaurus. This is the first of the 2 Dragon Empire, and this is continuous on rear. During this turn, this gets plus 5k, and if your opponent has a front or a rear guard, it cannot attack the Vanguard. I genuinely don't know why you would ever play this. I get it's a Eugene card. It it is doing nothing to help the meme tier status of Eugene. It is a 15k attacker, which for some reason has the most ridiculous restriction. Like, it's like if it was a 20k attacker, I guess I'd get it. Like, okay, you have to do your thing, but it's a 15k attacker with such a heavy restriction for. I think this card is pretty bad. Next, we've got Blaze Maiden Mirin. So, auto on rear when your unit with overdress attacks. Put this unit into your soul, choose one of your units with the overdress ability, and it gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. It's okay. You know, you would like chuck this behind Vanguard, swing with your Vanguard column, you do your whole Nirvana thing, and then you can start pressuring with your rearguard Varenas. And you know, you can then use this as appropriate. It seems okay. It seems like you'd probably play 1 to 2 copies of it, maybe. It doesn't seem particularly special. Like, yeah, giving 5k is nice. It's okay. And you know, if you can sort of ensure that you're getting the problem is, right, for this to be really worth it, your opponent has to let like one of your the grade 3 Varenas hit. And then it restands, and then like it's like potentially, but like then they're just gonna guard it. So it's like, I don't think it's that good outside of like maybe a push time. But then like, you know, then you're using a 6k booster when you have access to a 10k booster. So you know, the 5k you give to something else, you're sort of losing from your Vanguard swing. Now that matters less because typically, you know, on those kind of final turns, there's just going to be a PG on that Vanguard attack because you're not really going to want to risk it. But yeah, very mediocre card in my opinion. Doesn't seem particularly special. Might see some limited play unless it gets some sort of crazy combo in the future. I don't think it's particularly good. On to Dark States. So we got Diabolus Boys Jared. Act on rear once per turn. Can plus 1 soul plus 1. Choose one of your units with Diabolus in its card name and it gets plus 10k until the end of the turn. That's good. And auto rear when the unit attacks. If you're in Final Rush, your opponent cannot intercept until the end of the battle. This card's really solid. You know, buffing something by 10k, bearing in mind how, you know, Final Rush works, so you're going to be restanding all your rears. So, you know, and basically anything of significance is going to have Diabolos in its name, and bare minimum you'll be able to buff this up, which means it'll be swinging for even more, like twice, that 10k more twice. So that's pretty good value there. I would say the deck can afford that kind of plus 1 soul plus 1 from my experience anyway. And the Final Rush thing is a bonus. The intercept is sort of whatever. It's really that kind of 10k. I think this is okay. I think this is decent. I obviously haven't tested it out, but in theory, it seems pretty okay. It seems like you would play it at some quantity. So pretty solid pick up there for Bruce. And then our Baron Magnus support is Degraded Age Dragon, which has auto. When this is placed on rear, if your style has 5 or more cards, discard a card, choose one of your opponent's back or rear cards and retire it. Seems okay. You know, losing a card from hand for that, I don't know, it's not fantastic, but of course, you know, sniping a back row rear guard can be really nice. It can be particularly good value against specific matchups. For example, Nirvana decks, if they're going to play an Arcs early on in the game, they usually chuck that in the back row. So if you can just snipe it, that can be really, really nice. So yeah, this seems like a decent option. It's an 8k booster as well, so it's going to be doing your nice columns. Yeah, seems good. Seems good. I think this is a reasonable card. The space might be a bit tight, but I could also see, this seems very generic and just decent. On to our Brandgate Sport, and this is debatably the best card in the Festival Collection. So this has auto on rear. When its attack hits, you may choose up to 2 unit cards from your opponent's drop and prison them. So that's really, really good. Now, I will say, it's really, really good insofar as Prison is decent, and Prison's a pretty terrible deck at the moment. Probably the worst deck, actually. I'd say probably worse than Eugene, because at least Eugene gets to do its thing. Prison typically will not get to do its thing. This is going to do a lot to actually let Prison be live. Your opponent's going to have to let some attacks through, and if you can pressure them with this, that's really good, and that's going to sort of set you up really nicely. Of course, the downside of that is your opponent can then just guard with things that, they can guard with something on a Vanguard attack, for example, let this hit, you're forced to imprison them, and they can just get them back for Counterblast 1, so it was like a free guard. Meh, kind of whatever. I think this is a strong card, though. Imprisoning 2 is very nice. The fact it does from drop zone is really nice. Counters certain decks, any revival-based decks, for example. Zorga, wink wink, nudge nudge. This is a really hard counter too. If you could really get it rolling and stack up that prison, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's okay. It's not. It doesn't solve the deck's issues, but it does help, and it's a very, very solid card. You will play this in Prison, that's for sure. So yeah, a very solid card here. Then we've got Twin Press Smasher. Act on rear once per turn. Counterblast 1. Restless unit. Choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards and retire it. I don't think this card's very good at all. Seems way too overly costed for that skill. It doesn't really seem to be particularly nice Orphist support. Not great at all. Then we've got Gold Gaon. Auto, when it's placed on rear, Soul Blast 1 and call a Gradon from your hand to rear cycle, and the unit called for this cost gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. This is nice. The issue, of course, is you're absolutely not playing this in Bastion. This is going to be a card you will be playing in Hexa Orb, and in Hexa Orb it seems okay. It costs Soul, but then you get that 5k. It would be nice if it it'd be probably a bit ridiculous if it drew as well or something. It's just okay. It's just a restricted way to gain 5k. Probably not worth it. I'm not 100% sure on the rear guard quality of Hexa Orb, but I don't think it'll need to play this. Bastion certainly won't. So, yeah, very meh. Bowstring of Heavenly Peace Affion is act once per turn. If you have 3 more grade 3 units, counterblast 1, this unit gets plus 5 counter to the end of the turn, and if you Persona Road, draw a card. So, yeah. Counterblast 1 to gain 5k and draw a card is nice. Counterblast 1 to just gain 5k is less nice. Probably worth playing in a couple copies, but just to... If this is an improvement on your rear guard quality in Bastion, this is nice. Is it an improvement? It's Counterblast 1. The deck does use a lot of Counterblast. You do have counter charging, but it's very okay. It doesn't really leap out as this is special. Really the only card that is leapt out as Jared and Lemon are the only 2 cards which yeah, I can see this actually being useful. Reno maybe. The rest is just eh. Then we got Sylvan, Horned Beast, Koocy. This card cannot be ridden. It can only be called to the back row center rear circle. So it's a 15k grade 1. So that's nice. The cannot be ridden is really not a problem thanks to the ride deck. So that's nice. Yeah, I think this is a nice card. I think this is a card you probably would want to play at 1 or 2 copies in both of your both of your Stoicaea decks. Obviously very nice in Magnolia because it's 15k, you can swing with it from the back row, that's really good. This is going to be probably your go-to target. And Zorga just gets to call this as a 15k booster, and you know, you don't really care when you get it because you're probably just going to pitch it for your ride deck cost and then just revive it for Counterblast 1 or Soul Blast 1 or something, and it's just going to be a big booster. This is nice. I would say this is a decent card that Stoicaea decks will probably want to play. I think this is pretty good. And finally, Hydrorail Dragon. Auto, on rear, when this unit attacks its Vanguard, retire this unit, choose a grade 3 card from your drop zone, and put it into your hand. So, it's okay. You know, it's nice in the sense that you can, so it's nice because in Zorga particularly, you don't really care if you lose this because you can always revive it next turn if you need it. You can as long as you can ensure you're soul blasting every turn. Then once you start your Persona Ride train going, then this combo, right, as long as you have a counterblast available to you and a way to soul blast, which you should do, it's Zorga, then you'll always be able to ensure your Persona Riding every turn, and then you can just counterblast 1 to revive this to keep that train going. So that is a cute combo. How good is it? I need to try it out. It seems like it's probably decent. You know, the problem is it does have to hit, of course, which is not ideal at all. So yeah, it's also a grade 3 unit card. If it was just a grade 3 card, then this would also be a bit nicer, because then you could potentially deal with any issues you're having in Alchemagicking. It just seems like a card that's sort of hampered for no real reason. Like, would this card have been that good if it just said after this unit's attack, retire this, salvage a grade 3? Probably not. It would have been a lot better, but it would have been good, just fine. So yeah, seems like a pretty mediocre card. Seems fine. Okay, now then in terms of advice on whether this is worth picking up, in the UK, if you're buying 4 boxes of these, it's going to cost about £30 per box. So if you need 4 of them, 120, about £25. I've added a bit, but like, you know, factor in shipping, whatever, about £25 per nation, which shakes out to about £3 and a bit per card. So if the singles for the cards you need are less than about £3 per card, then you should just grab singles. If they're more, then you should get the boxes, is what I would say. But of course, don't forget you're going to be getting all that other stuff in terms of the foils. So if you care about foiling out your deck, then yep, just buy the boxes. It seems like a no-brainer as long as you can find like people to split with. Or alternatively, it might just be worth getting the boxes anyway, because the SPs are probably going to be fairly easy money, and it'll just be stonks. So yeah. There we go. I would say it's probably worth picking up the product for this, just because it is guaranteed, and you know, I doubt these cards are going to be £1 a piece across the board. If they were, then I would just get the singles. Like, I can't be bothered to go through the rigmarole of actually selling the stuff. I'll just pay my £4 for my playset, but I doubt it'll be that cheap. We will see. I don't think pre-orders might be up. But yeah, there we go. That's it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Vanguard content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.